Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Callaway Stadium in Lagrange, Georgia. This is the home of your Troup Tigers. Troup entered the 07 season with high, though measured, expectations. The staff, now in their second year under head coach Bubba Jeter, had already breathed new life into Troup football in 2006. With an aggressive attacking defense and an offense with superstar potential, Troup looked to capitalize on last year's successes and make an early push for a playoff berth. A solid preseason performance over Banneker supplied needed momentum, carried the Tigers into the early weeks of the 07 season. Shaw High School, however, was one of the dominant teams in Region 2. Troup couldn't overcome turnovers despite a physical offense and a strong defensive performance. Troup finished with a solid scoring drive, but left Memorial Stadium disappointed. The disappointment wouldn't last long. Troup settled into a more comfortable rhythm in Week 2 against the Hardaway Golden Hawks. The Tigers put on a rugged performance, living up to a well-deserved reputation for physical football. Though Hardaway put up a worthy effort, Troup countered with even more grit and tenacity. Fullbacks Ladarius Hayes and Jeremy Holloway pounded on the interior line of the Golden Hawks, while junior running back Jacorius Cotton and senior Destin McFarland sliced the defensive backfield with finesse and ease. Sophomore quarterback Jaquante Holloway put on a solid performance in a demanding role, directing his offense with poise and maturity. Troup's defense, one of the finest in West Georgia, unleashed a relentless attack on Hardaway's offense. Led by senior defensive tackle Corey Grissom, the Tigers kept the Hawks off balance all night. fourth quarter sack by defensive end Leandre Crawford resulted in a fumble that senior linebacker Ratavius James recovered for a touchdown, giving the Tigers a crucial 10-point lead in a close game. An interception on the Hawks' final drive by Brandon Davis sealed the win for Troup High. Troup's second trip to Columbus Memorial Stadium was far more successful than the first. The Northside High Patriots slipped into the stadium hoping to avoid a thrashing, while the Tigers stormed the field dominating on both sides of the ball. The Tigers' offensive and defensive lines put a whooping on the Patriots that could best be described as child abuse, with defensive end Desmond Houston and tackles Tay Irving and Corey Grissom being the chief offenders. Troup's rushing attack behind the mass and muscle of guys like John Oliver, Heath Arrington, and Jamichael Tatum enjoyed easy touchdowns over Northside's overmatched defense. Momentum was building and Troup was ready to get back home to Callaway Stadium and take care of business. A victory over Spencer would send Troup into their bye week with a 4-1 record and still alive for regional crown. On a cold and rainy evening, the Tigers got off to a slow start, but a perfectly executed kick return by Brandon Davis and Destin McFarland opened up the scoring. Turnovers caused by Troup's defense stifled Spencer's waterlogged offense. 2 interceptions by sophomore defensive back Vondre Jackson halted potential scoring drives by the Green Wave, and a fumble recovery for a touchdown by junior Dominique Atkins put even more points on the board for the Tigers. With the running game well established, sophomore quarterback Jaquante Holloway was able to attack Spencer through the air, connecting with senior wide receiver Lawrence Jackson for a touchdown in the second quarter, along with junior tight end Marcus Williams for a score in the fourth. Troup's defense put the finishing touches on a successful early season. The Tigers hit their midseason break at 4-1 with a full head of steam. The Tigers hit a rough stretch after the bye week. The regional leader and future state champ Carver High School came into Callaway Stadium with their own quick strike offense and a massive defense. After opening the game with an impressive kick return by senior Destin McFarland, Troup played tough throughout the contest. The Tigers countered Carver's athleticism and speed with punishing hits, forced turnovers, and solid tackling. However, it wasn't enough. Carver won a game that actually was closer than the final score would indicate. Troup stayed close until the last half of the fourth quarter, when 3 quick scores by Carver Tigers put the game out of reach. Troup continued to struggle against Harris County, though solid pursuit by the Tigers linebacker trio of Hugh Rutledge, DeJuan Morgan, and Robtavius James kept Harris County's running game under control. The Troup offense couldn't overcome turnovers and never found the rhythm it needed to put together consistent drives. Senior fullback Ladarius Hayes led the Tigers' rushing attack, stepping up nicely beside Destin McFarland and Jacorius Cotton in the face of a punishing Harris County defense. Heart and determination kept the victory within reach until the final gun sounded, but Troup was never able to grab hold of the needed win. The season would get a lot easier for the next few weeks. Troup first went to Kinnett Stadium to face the badly overmatched Columbus High Blue Devils. Brandon Davis opened scoring with a long fumble return for a touchdown. After that, all areas of Troup's game plan worked to near perfection, allowing for scores on all sides of the ball, including long touchdown runs by Ja'Corius Cotton and senior linebacker Hugh Rutledge. The Tigers attacked Columbus with a combination of finesse and pain. Passes to Marcus Williams and runs by Jaquante Holloway and Ja'Corius Cotton provided a balanced and effective attack on Columbus. Troup finished off the Blue Devils with a punishing ground game courtesy of sophomore Brandon Worrell, a giant fullback who had recently shifted over from the defensive line. The Tigers starters got to sit out a bit early and allow the younger players to clean up what was left of Columbus, a much-deserved rest after a well-played game. Jordan was the next victim to step up to the plate and challenge the Troup Tigers. The perfect senior night opponent, Jordan was outmanned and overmatched. Gaping holes opened by senior offensive lineman John Oliver, Jamichael Tatum, and Heath Arrington, along with a host of talented underclassmen blockers, allowed for Tiger running backs to almost sleepwalk into the end zone. Corey Grissom and company wreaked havoc on yet another offense. Troup was able to move the ball at will, running and throwing. Jaquante Holloway and receiver Lawrence Jackson again hooked up on what seemed to be their favorite play, go long. The only lingering doubt about the game was whether or not the Tigers would allow Jordan any courtesy points toward the end of the game. The answer was a resounding no. The shutout was complete. The Kendrick game, though probably not the best Tiger performance of the year, had its share of interesting moments, like when senior Jamichael Tatum got to live out his dream of playing running back for his beloved Tigers. Running back team of Jacorius Cotton, Ladarius Hayes, Destin McFarland, and Brandon Worrell carried on business as usual, mixing tough inside running with slashing speed. But it was actually senior guard Jamichael Tatum who split scoring duties with kicker Nathan Lattimore, keeping Troup ahead of a fairly tenacious Kendrick team. Tiger defense finally secured the win deep in their own territory, putting the finishing touches on a game that was never as close as the score might have indicated. The biggest game of the season in Troup County, Georgia, is the matchup between Troup High and their crosstown rivals, the Lagrange High Grangers. In 2007, the annual showdown couldn't have been any bigger. Both teams needed a win to make it to the playoffs. The stage was set for one of the most exciting games in the region and fans had seen in a long time. Troup entered the game with a poise and a sense of purpose that had been admittedly elusive at a certain point in the season. Sharp performances from Destin McFarland and Jaquante Holloway allowed Troup to maintain field position in a very close game. Juwan Morgan, Desmond Houston, and the rest of the Tigers' aggressive defense held the Lagrange offense in check for most of the contest, closing down outside runs and plugging up holes in the middle lanes. Linebacker Hugh Rutledge scored Troup's first touchdown on a fumble recovery in the second quarter to bring the Tigers to within 3 points of their arch rivals. Troup then turned to their big man in the backfield, Brandon Worrell, to put the Granger defense back on its heels and set up a huge touchdown in that seesaw battle. Holloway's 45-yard shot to receiver Lawrence Jackson along with a 27-yard touchdown created a huge momentum shift and gave Troup the opportunity to seal the win over their bitter rival. After a Lagrange touchdown, the Tigers' defense stepped up and stopped a late drive by the Grangers. Troup was set up for a last drive to seal the win for the season. Though Troup had played one of its best games of the season, the drive came up just short and the season ended too soon. There was, however, little reason for disappointment. Troup finished with a winning record and a stage set for a bright future. The seniors can leave this season with their heads held high, knowing that they have challenged themselves and become better for having been a part of this Tiger team. The Tigers' story for this 2007 season did not end on November 9th. Football's recruiting season saw 8 players from Troup High School sign letters of intent to play in college. Next year, Troup will have players in Florida, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and even California. The Tiger legacy is growing. To the exiting seniors, we say thank you for your hard work. We are proud of you and wish you well in the future. To the incoming freshmen and underclassmen, your future is now. I don't know why this is kicking my butt.